Hello everyone, and welcome to the Mother of Change Show. Today we're going to be talking about the blessing of obedience with our special guest, Shamika Nicole. Welcome on. All right, welcome back. We are talking about God taking us from places that we said good riddance to, but yet there's a blessing in the obedience. And sometimes there are places that he doesn't ever allow us to go back to, but other times he wants us to go back to those places like you were talking about for healing. For healing and for restoration.
I think even when you think about that scripture, and I try to say it every day, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against me in judgment thou shalt condemn, for this is the inheritance of the children of the Most High God. Isaiah 54:17. So you might not, obviously, we're not going to know everything people say about us, nor should we really be concerned, right? But we know because of warfare, if sometimes people are intentionally trying to put word curses on you. They're trying to assassinate your character or bring accusation in the realm of the spirit. But you're speaking that word. It's like a sword in the spirit, and it's cutting up all those words that the people are saying that people you don't even know are talking about you, right? Or your children.
I love that we have a daughter's point of view, because Yolanda, we could talk as mothers all day, but we really don't know what's going on in a kid's head. And although she's an adult, she was once a child.
Something that you pointed out, the vision, having the vision, so that's very powerful. When you have a vision of what you want things to look like in your home. And I didn't start doing this till years later with my daughter, right? And I mentioned her because she's the oldest. She's 16. My son is only 6. And it was when she was about 7 years old that things started to change around in my life, and her life, of course, as well. And so I just would read up on things and learning about, establishing boundaries and just pretty much implementing what I was learning too, right? Because you can read all you want. If you don't implement what you learn, then, it doesn't do any good. But definitely the consistency was key for us. And another thing you mentioned is just putting things in order as far as like some instructions or whatever the case is. So like when she would tell me that she forgot, right? Well, how many kids don't say that? Didn't I tell you to clean your room? Oh, I forgot.
Right.
No, well then I created a checklist. I would put things around the house so that we're all in one accord.
So welcome back. So we're talking about obedience, and so I don't want to encourage people to delay in their obedience, okay? Because that delay can cause you to get lazy and forget. And so then it's really just blatant disobedience. The Lord wants us to obey, and it's okay if we don't feel like it, because that's humanity.
I was just going to say, it kind of reminds me of being a server. Like, when people are like, hey, can you grab me this real quick as you're walking by? You're like, yeah, I can grab it. And you don't grab it. And then they get way more frustrated than when you're walking by. You're like, okay, I'm going to try my best to get it, but I'm not going to promise you anything. And then you bring it out anyway. And they're like, oh, thank you. I wasn't expecting you to bring it out after all. And they're so much more happy with you. And you're like, I'm not sure if I can be able to grab it, but I'll try my best to squeeze that in real quick and put that in or something. And they get so much more happy, and you get such better tips if you're honest with them, like, hey, I'm running other things right now. I'll try to get that in as quick as possible.
And if you are in one space and you're like, I'm not going no place, and he's like, well, it's too bad because I had this full this full experience over here with double the pay, double the time off. You'll never know.
That's true.
You'll never know because you didn't even give it the opportunity. It's a lost opportunity. When you're disobedient, it's a lost opportunity. And when you start redefining obedience, because the sin nature wants to rebel. The flesh wants to rebel. And so there has to be something within your person. Like for me, I have honestly, and my kids can testify to this, is I've trained myself to see obedience connected, like you have. You've connected obedience with blessing, and a lot of people don't connect obedience with the blessing. They connect it with their parents. They connect it with not wanting to listen to their parents. They connect it with authority, not wanting to listen to authority. They connect it with anybody telling them what to do. I don't want to tell you, do what you told me to do. And it's rebellion. And the scripture says that rebellion is a sin of witchcraft. And so when the Lord puts people in authority over us, there's all these systems that the Lord has, which you guys like systems. He has order. All right. And so within God's order, we have to obey the order, because we start learning relationship. We start learning how to give honor where honor's due, whether you feel like it or not. And then with all this different levels of obedience, so the Lord shines his lights, from heaven down on us, and he sees that it's hard. He sees that it's difficult. He sees that you didn't want to go. He sees that you've questioned, maybe delayed a little bit. But when he sees that we finally took that step of faith, then he's gracious and he will reward. So if there's somebody out there who is right now sitting down, and that God, they know that God told them to do something, they know it. And so I don't want them to be right here right now and be like, oh, that was over. You could have delayed some things, let's be honest, right? It could delay some things, but just say yes to the Lord, like right now, go whatever it is, and just write it down.
Yeah, it's really simple, basically. Just go to God and be like, okay, well, you obviously were trying to tell me for a while, and whether I delayed my obedience or delayed by using the excuse of doubt, just ask him to forgive you and just seek him first, and just be like, okay, well, this is what you want me to do. Where do you want me to take the step here? Don't make it so complicated, and just do something. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Shamika Nicole. They can find your books on Amazon, I'm sure.
My first one, but the rest are on payhip.com/Shamika Nicole.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming.
We've enjoyed you. We've enjoyed your wisdom, and I hope y'all have enjoyed this talk tonight. Remember, y'all, if the Lord has told you to do something, it pays to obey. That's it, y'all. This is the Mother of Change show, and this show is going to change your life. Remember, y'all, go out, change the world, and start at home.